What do GDPR, telematics, and weather alerts have to do with your license plates? I'm Tanya Hall for ZDNet, and joining me is Neville Boston. He is the CEO of Reviver Auto. Welcome, Neville.
Welcome. Thank you. It's great to be here.
Tell us about Reviver Auto.
Reviver is a business that I think is going to revolutionize how we think about, license plates and connected vehicles. It's the world's first digital electronic license plate.
Now, okay, a digital license plate.
Yes.
I'm excited, I think. How does that work?
Well, think about it like this. The initial idea for the technology was around over-air registration, being able to simplify that process. So you no longer had to put stickers on your vehicle or anything like that. But when we started looking at it, there were so many other applications that you could do with it, from unlimited specialty and COTS plates to being able to do your tolling and your parking. And then emergency messaging like Amber Alerts and Silver Alerts, and being able to talk about inclement weather. So it was a way for the car to actually really be connected through the plate.
So, what is the design like? I mean, how do you push updates like the Amber Alerts and weather alerts and that sort of thing?
It's all over air. So you'd be able to basically, we have information in the cloud, we push it to the plate once we got the information that folks needed to know. And the thing to know about the technology is that while you're driving on the road, it looks just like a license plate. It only does something else when the vehicle is legally parked,
Who
unless
owns the
it was
plate?
emergency messaging that needed to be out that we would send. And if that happened, the license plate number would go to the upper right-hand corner.
Okay. Who owns the plate, Neville?
The user owns the plate. What the state owns is the number. So whatever that JPEG file is for the number, that's what the state owns.
How much do they cost?
Well, depending on where you get it, for dealerships, the hardware will cost $699. That's what the dealership will charge you, plus the ability to connect over air. So there's like a monthly subscription fee. Our focus initially was with small to medium businesses as a way to manage your fleets. Because when you have to plate vehicles, put stickers on, it's a big chore and it's very costly. And this was a way to streamline your costs. But it also allowed you to be able to track where your vehicles are going and be able to do targeted messaging to your customers. So it gave you a lot of options.
How does the driver get registered? I mean, are they going to have to go down to the DMV and wait for a couple of hours, or is this
No,
simplify the
there's
process?
no, there's a portal that we have. We'll both have a mobile app, both iOS and Android, or you could go to your desktop and do it. And you'll have the ability to connect, get your information, and register online. Very streamlined process.
Where are these currently available?
So they're available in California and in Arizona. We passed legislation in Texas and Florida. We'll be doing pilots in Nevada, Maryland, and Pennsylvania before the end of this year. And we're in talks with Georgia, Colorado, Illinois, Michigan, Washington State. We passed legislation, conversations in Oregon. So it's all over the country. We also signed a POC about a month ago with Dubai, and we're going to start testing plates there in the next several weeks. And then we've also been talking to several other countries.
How have you worked with law enforcement? I mean, I'm sure there were a lot of questions and concerns. So what kind of obstacles did you have to overcome to work with them, and what kind of concerns did they have?
Okay, so this is really interesting. We worked as a public-private partnership. I incorporated the company back in 2009, and we've been working in concert with the DMV back in '08, and then law enforcement in '09. And what we did is that before we built anything, we sat down and talked to them about what our idea was for the plate. So we never built anything until we knew what would be legal. So we've been working with them for the last 9 years. So it's a different relationship. It's a true public-private partnership where there's give and take on both sides. So they've been able to give us ideas on things that we should be thinking about when building this technology. And then we were able to say, hey, we can support things, that would be coming down the pike that you need supported. So it's been a real symbiotic relationship.
How are you using telematic technology to collect data? I mean, is the data collection limited to the fleets and the business users, or, I mean, and do you have to opt in for that, or are you automatically
Yeah,
collecting data?
no. You have to opt in for it. And my thing is, I'm big on privacy. We've had initial conversations with the EFF, the Electronic Frontier Foundation. We also spoke to the ACLU and other public advocacy groups. It's important to us to make sure that we're in communication about people's data, especially what's been happening over the last couple of years. With how it's been, used, the whole Cambridge Analytica and Facebook fiasco that happened. We just look at data differently. GDPR was just enacted in the EU. So those parameters are the ones that we are looking to employ within our platform. So those kinds of things are the things that we're really important, that are important to us. Your information, your data is important.
You mentioned the DMV's approval of weather alerts and amber alerts. What are some future other types of maybe banner advertising? I mean, can we expect, I'm going to pass Starbucks, so Starbucks is going to show up on my license plate? I mean, what are some future use cases?
Well, I look at it like this. When it comes to use cases, AVs, so we're working with the city of Sacramento right now. We just put 24 plates on their electric vehicle fleet. What they're looking to do is be able to use this as a way to communicate what's happening in the city, like if there are issues, through the plate as a messaging platform. So it's a way in which these city vehicles can communicate to the populace around them things that are happening real time. So that's one of the use cases is tying in and developing an API which you're able to integrate and utilize for autonomous vehicles, also for any vehicle that has a digital electronic license plate as a communication tool. Now, back to your question as far as messaging and how that would be utilized. If you're Comcast, if you're Charter, if you're AT&T or Verizon, you may have trucks in a particular area. So you would maybe want to geofence that area and have targeted messaging that actually speaks to the customers in that particular locale. So that's a way that I think would be really interesting to use the plates. As far as outside of that, I think things can be developed, but we haven't really roadmapped those yet.
Okay, I live in Colorado. We have a lot of snow and gravel on the road, and I go off-roading. So, what happens if my license plate gets hit by a rock? I mean, how rugged are they?
They're very rugged. They're IP66 rated for water, wind, and dust egress. We have, tests for crash tests that we've done on the plates. What's nice about them is that if the screen is cracked for any reason, it operates like a screen on your vehicle. So it spiders, so you can still read the information behind it, which is really, really important. So that the actual license plate number is always visible.
Okay, what about vanity plates? I mean, can I still get a really cool vanity plate? Not that I would do that, but
Of course, you can get unlimited vanity plates. That's one of the things that's a huge benefit for the technology is you have the ability not to just have one, but you could have 10 or 15. Or if there are causes that you want to support, then you have the ability to support them like breast cancer, or in California, there's a Tahoe blue plate or a whale tail plate. These are all plates that you can support. In addition to favorite universities. If you went to Colorado State or you're a Buffalo, or you have the ability to be able to have plates that tie into your lifestyle and who you are. I think it's kind of an expression of yourself.
interesting. Well, it's the future, right?
It
I
is.
I really appreciate your time, Neville. If somebody wants to connect with you, maybe they want to find out more about getting one of these plates for themselves. How can they do that?
Go to www.rplate.com, and R like the letter R, plate.com. They can get it there.
All right. Well, thank you so much for your time. And if you want to follow me and more of my interviews, you can do that right here on ZDNet or Tech Republic. Or maybe go to my website, which is tanyahall.net. And I've got links to all my social sites like LinkedIn and Facebook and Twitter. In fact, if you'd like to talk or chat, find me on Twitter at Tanya Hall Radio. I'd love to hear from you. Thanks for watching.